Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name's Cureton, senior journalist for XR Today. As always, we're bringing you the latest and greatest from the VR, AR, and XR industries. Today, we're going to be speaking to an amazing pair of guests. We're going to speak to Nahla Mortada, senior product manager for Sale, and also Nabil Mohamed, who is the CTO and CPO for Sale. Thanks so much for joining today. It's a pleasure to speak to both of you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right, excellent. So we're going to be talking about the new solution that you've created for your website. You've launched a kind of digital mapping, digital twinning of apartment complexes, different properties that you've got for sale on your website. So wanted to go ahead and open up the floor. So why did you guys decide to do that? And can you tell me more about the Kuwaiti property market? I guess we'll start with Nahla. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, so as a leader in the market, For Sale is the leading app in the Kuwaiti market. The driving force behind launching For Sale Realty 3D tours was our commitment to providing the best possible experience for our customers. As a market leaders, we aim to address various challenges in the real estate market. One of which was the discrepancy between the property listings and the actual units. So we wanted to ensure that our customers could explore every detail of the property before making a decision. That's our goal.
Excellent.
Just to build on that. So, in the classifieds businesses, every country or set of countries has kind of the dominant players. So in Germany, it's Zalando. In New Zealand, it's TradeMe. In the States, it's Craigslist or eBay or Zillow, depending on what vertical you're looking at. So in Kuwait, it's For Sale with just undoubtable, right? And one of the things we realized recently, this is maybe 2 years ago, is that customers in Kuwait in general, like not even our customers, just people looking for properties, find a hard time getting to valuable information about these properties. Like it's just a very informal kind of network of part-time brokers and people who live in buildings or rent out apartments. You didn't get a lot of valuable details like photos and space requirements and all of that stuff. You didn't know what the facilities looked like. It was a very hard time. You kind of had to penetrate and navigate your way into what was finally kind of either a good or a bad apartment. Like you didn't know. A lot of it was left to chance. So the idea behind just showing 3D tours in the app, but like we always have property listings. The new thing was, well, why don't we create an experience where it's almost like you visited the entire thing and you ask the questions that you wanted to ask, and we give you a number just in case you have more questions. So you walk into the place, you're able to measure different walls and buildings, and you feel like you have all of the information to make a decision without just being kind of constantly bumped from one person to the other without any level of certainty, which is very frustrating, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Like when you're in the property market, a lot of people, especially during the pandemic, they started looking towards solutions like this because they wanted to get the proper dimensions. Plus, they weren't always able to visit the place in person. Now, this opens up the whole floor to seeing as many properties as needed with the greatest amount of realism and immersion. So wonderful. I wanted to ask you a little bit about so you teamed up with Matterport. I noticed on the website, it says, designed by Matterport, and I was like, oh yay! So how did you begin working with this company as an end user? And for you, what was it that Matterport was offering regarding like either ease of use, accessibility, technological solutions? So I'll open that up to you, Nabil. Going into the tech side of that.
So we actually initially didn't start working with Matterport. We were working with another vendor, and that vendor was just from a technical standpoint, the way they displayed apartments, the measurements, the features that they had were great. Like at the end of the day, you're looking for 4 or 5 major features, and they've become more or less standard in the industry that is, I don't know what you want to call it, but like visualizing 3D. Sorry, what did you say, Nahla?
XR. Extended reality?
Yeah, I
Yes.
guess, yeah. So you're looking for high pixel rate and just like good resolution. You're looking for fluid movement. You're looking for measurements like just aspects ratio that's not out of control. You're looking for an easy integration process. And then you're looking for storage that is sensible, right? Where like you get to control or keep your storage. You're not paying an arm and a leg just to hang on to all of your data just in case you need it, even if you don't need it right now. Like and this happens a lot. Like we have apartments that we take photos of or take 3D tours of, and we're not quite sure if we're going to use this now or later, and we want to hold on to this data. And so the first company we dealt with had all four of the first four criteria that I said, but didn't provide for this kind of flexible storage of 3D files, right? Matterport, in fact, actually had one less of the UI features that we were looking for. I don't remember which one it was. I think Nahla
House.
can definitely expand.
House, yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah. It was the floor plan.
The floor plan. Thank you.
Yes.
Right. And so we were like, all right, yeah, but they give us a lot of flexibility when it comes to where these files are and how we can access them, and we don't have to keep paying a fee. So like ironically, the difference that made us switch wasn't technological. It was it was contractual and financial.
Yes.
So that's what I can say about that. And then we kind of hit at a certain enterprise kind of bar in Matterport because of how many different properties we had to take photos of. So just about a month and a half ago, 2 months maybe ago, we signed a new enterprise deal with them. And Nahla can expand more on that.
Yeah, as Nabil said, it's we didn't start with Matterboard. Adding to his points, actually, we faced an issue with the delay on creating the 3D tours with the other vendor. So we wanted a quicker solution. We wanted the 3D tours to be done in the day we requested them. So each tour must be requested to be done in a certain amount of time. So we wanted the quickest, the better solution for us. Beside the storage Nabil said about, it was also the flexibility to extend to an enterprise solution and to have much more room for expanding, because we are expanding too fast and we don't need to, each time we have an apartment or a unit, we need to have the 3D tour for, we request it. It's automatically submitted and then requested, and then the process goes on. I think this is mainly why we went for Matterport, especially for their loading time for the user interfacing board. This is for our purpose in the back office, but for the user experience, the loading time when they start the 3D tour, it starts quickly. This is one of the important things we wanted for a seamless experience for our users.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, both of you. And yeah, we've noticed a lot of things with like Matterport. They're also kind of like a leader in digital twinning. They have like a lot of different solutions for every different kind of industry vertical. So it's great to see them going into the real, into the property market and actually creating those, very, very lifelike digital twins that people can use to, have more buyer confidence whenever they decide to get a property, even if they're thousands of miles away. So yeah, I was going to ask you, like, also because for sale is such a big player in the MENA region, like, what do you hope to achieve for regional XR adoption rates, like by being the first company or one of the first companies to actually like adopt Matterport solutions or similar solutions in XR? What do you plan to do for the next step?
So a couple of things here, because this is it's a really good question, and we get that a lot. So first of all, there's plenty of room for growth in Kuwait, and that's not to say that we later don't have regional ambitions. I mean, we do, but it's important to put things in context because we often get kind of pulled into directions like, whoa, why don't you go to the Emirates or Egypt or Qatar or Saudi Arabia. And it's not like we don't want to do that ever as a matter of principle. It's just that we feel like there's so much low-hanging fruit in Kuwait to still be grabbed. And so if it's a market that you know that you've already been relatively successful in, it doesn't make sense to distort and fragment your efforts, and instead just like continue the focus until you've captured the whole market. So this answered parts of your question, and I think we'll be able to do that. I mean, in under 5 years and in more than 1 year. I'm not sure of the exact time horizon because it's basically a formula of the features that we build and the improvements that we introduce, and also the lag of time that has to pass before customers kind of respond in this cumulative, delightful way. Right? So that's the first part of your question. The second part of your question is about, well, what does it mean for us to be using these advanced tools? Well, I like to simplify things in terms of customer impact. Like we don't use certain stacks or tools or third parties or languages or whatever because we think they're cool only, right? That's a very usually bad reason for a business to move us in a certain technical direction. We usually start with the kind of customer experience that we want, and then work backwards to see what kind of technology we need to be using. So in this case, virtual reality, just making it such that you're already in a place instead of traveling there, saves customers a ton of time. So being associated with saving or conserving customers' time is amazing because it provides gigantic opportunities for scale. Because then customers will trust you to buy cars that way and electronic gadgets that way, and to moderate posts, and to trust you when you say that someone has a certain quality as a seller. You can become a broker for all sorts of things. You can become the underwriter if you want in the future for how they pay for these things, especially if it's a buy now, pay later sort of thing, right? So if you manage to use the right tools and the right processes to position yourself as a company that saves people's time, then they automatically kind of offload more and more of their just headaches and paperwork and needs and purchasing requirements onto you, and it's yours to handle. They're like, all right, you have the assets. These are my assets under your management. And now just please get this done for me. I want to spend 5 minutes of my time doing this and not more, whether it comes to buying a car, buying a refurbished iPad, renting a horse for a day in some sort of camping site, and definitely buying or renting an apartment.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add to that, Nahla?
No, I think it's Nabil covered it all. It's just us leading the market to. I think it's we can say a new era of XR. So this is big, not just for us, just for us leading the whole market on that. Seeing other people also, if there will be other people who will be using such technologies, will be good. The more people will be using such technologies, will be better for everyone in the Kuwait industry.
Excellent. Awesome. So we have, I guess, one last question I'd like to run by you guys. So we look at a lot of the different trends taking place across the XR market, and I wanted to ask you, what kinds of trends did you see, especially in e-commerce? So give the floor to both of you. I guess, Nabil, what kinds of things have you seen on the technical side? I guess, Nahla, also, what have you seen on the, I guess, the product offering side?
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of, I don't know if this counts as XR, but I've seen a lot of attempts to invite people to take photos or to try to get some sort of app to recognize a random item that they're photographing or videoing on the street, as a way for these people to be like, oh, well, I want to buy something like this. Do you have something like this in your app or in your website? And I haven't seen these things be successful. Not because the technology isn't great. The technology is sometimes spectacular, but because it's it's, you know, it goes against how people actually like the purchasing patterns. It's more of a product question, not a technical question. And this is why most of these things fail, by the way. It's not because the technology is good enough, is not good enough, but it's because the use case itself doesn't make much sense in context of how people buy and interact and behave and engage. The second very interesting application that I've seen, I've read about this one, I haven't seen this, is uh, so when you're classifieds or an e-commerce, you'll often have a secondary source of revenue that's like Google Ad Manager or some sort of, just you have some spots in some pages in your app reserved for there to be traffic bidding, right? And you do them artfully so that it doesn't really interrupt the customer experience. But you're like, I mean, why not? Like, we make this extra money just by displaying an occasional ad. Now, here's where problems come into play. Some of these ads are bid on by like bad actors or things that are even if not illegal, but just like unethical being advertised, right? For example, you know, uncredible medicines or you know, uncredible services. And so I've seen XR or XR SDKs, to be very specific, being used in some apps to detect some of these ads using a combination of AI and just like some regressions or some formulas, if by the way, if else formulas built inside that SDK to detect if something is shady or if something is sketchy, right? And then flag to the product team or to saying like, this ad doesn't look right. And I found that to be very interesting because they need to be able to look at the ad and then look at the video of like a person moving around in a certain way, and it just seems wrong, and so they alert the teams. I don't think that XR within classifieds and e-commerce spaces, uh, I don't think the potential of it is quite known yet. Like right now, we're like, oh, we need people to buy properties. We need it to buy quickly, so we want a 3D tour. And if you think about it within the context of XR, a 3D tour is just like a very, very tiny part of what's possible. So I don't think we fully understand it. I think we're part of it is going to be we're talking to customers to understand what they, you know, what they wish they could do easier and faster and cheaper, and then see if XR or AI fits into that. Nahla, what about you?
Yeah, I think recently the videos, the short videos, and the XR boards are becoming common, especially after COVID, when people are stuck at home and they used to play games and get their goggles. And right now, the Vision Pro for Apple and all these stuff are coming to be known for everyone. And I think this might be the next part. As Nabil said, we don't know how this will end up helping a classified business, but it's now a 3D tour. Next day it's integrated with Vision Pro or any other goggle, so you can see the items related to some items related in your home. If you are buying a couch or something, you will be seeing it in the place you want to place it at your home. So this will be like, okay, this fits, or this will not fit, something like that. And I think on other aspects we have some parts, like Nabil said, it's the image recognition, but we have some hard times to have the text recognition for Arabic, especially if you have a dialect like the Kuwaiti dialects. It's difficult. And having something shady, like Nabil said, in such a dialect, it's even hard for us to recognize. You have to be like deep into the market to be there. Thankfully, we have our guide there, but this is hard to be like triggered by a machine or something like that. So I think we will find out, especially the challenges in the Arabic language and in the Arabic context, for the XR and all the new technologies.
Lovely. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. And what we've been talking about, we've been speaking to Nahla Mortada, Senior Product Manager for For Sale, and Nabil Mohamed, he is the CTO and CPO for For Sale. Once again, my name is Cureton, Senior Journalist for XR Today. And if you like more conversations like this, please join us at the LinkedIn and Twitter hashtag XR News. So thanks so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time and attention. And until then, keep following the news. Bye, y'all.